What's going on, you guys? James here with not real news, not a real review, and not a real reaction, but instead I just wanted to talk to you guys about what you can watch at home because, listen, this global pandemic is no joke. Clearly not a lot of people are going out to movie theaters, and AMC just recently announced that they're only filling their auditoriums up to 50% capacity, probably because of one or two things. One, they're not getting a lot of patrons to attend the theater, and two, well, they just want to be safer than sorry. So yeah, that's where we're at. And luckily we live in this digital streaming era where we have Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video. I haven't watched Apple TV Plus, sorry. But I wanted to give you guys a list of what to watch. Now, I want to thank a couple of real friends out there that gave me this idea. And I love that you guys continue to come to me with different things that you want me to review. And I kind of want to open the floor up again for that. So if you guys have anything you want me to review or watch, let me know in the comments below because, again, like I've said in the previous videos, press screenings are starting to get much more limited over the next month because movies are being pushed back and studios don't want to risk anyone getting sick going out to these press screenings. So it's very interesting. There is actually one movie that I have kind of in the vault that I want to release a review for, so I'll tell you guys more about that in the upcoming months. But before I get started, if this is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James. Now if you're wondering who that is, that's me, and I love talking all about movies. So if you like what you hear and what you see, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tap on the notification bell just to stay up to date over these next few months because I'm just going to be dropping a lot of discussion videos, maybe reactions to trailers that might release, and a ton of different reviews, maybe throwback reviews, maybe reviews of current things on streaming. I'm still going to be dropping content for you guys. So don't forget to like this video, share it, and in the comments below, again, let me know what you guys would like me to watch, review, and let me know what you think of this list if you want me to add anything to this list because I want to put the full list in the description below. If you haven't seen it already, I did have a busy week amid all of the chaos. I was able to see The Hunt, and that review is also in the description below. It's outstandingly bad. It's really bad. I also was able to watch Bloodshot and Wendy recently, so you'll be able to find all those reviews on the channel. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on now. Of course, like I just said, the channel is going to be seeing a bit of a different form over the next few months, only because screenings are being pushed back, and there's going to be a lot of different things happening in terms of theaters. Either they close down, they postpone things, they suspend operations. We don't know what's going to happen, but that's going to cause the channel to be a little bit different. Like I've already said, I'm not going to stop producing content because I love you guys. I love this community that we've been building, and it's really something special that you guys continue to come back each and every video and just interact with one another and with me. Now, this coronavirus is definitely not to be taken lightly. You want to continue to wash your hands, you want to be proactive in your health, and you want to, of course, consult a local health official or your doctor if you feel any sort of the symptoms. Trust me, it's better to, again, be safe than sorry. But don't panic, you guys. We'll get through this together, and hopefully you'll be able to watch some content at home, and you'll be able to go ahead and dive into some movies and TV series that you've been meaning to catch up on, which is why I want to do this video. I just want to be able to give you guys some head starts on things that you might have forgotten or if it's been back of mind for a while. Okay, so let's start with basically the king of streaming services, Netflix. And of course, the Netflix list is going to be a little bit longer for TV shows and movies, only because I've watched more on Netflix and it's been around a little bit longer in my life. So let's just hop into TV shows that I think you should watch while you're at home. Okay, so the first TV show is not necessarily like season 1, season 2, it's just one season. I believe there are like 6 episodes. It's a documentary and miniseries called Cheer. And listen, y'all, if you have not been watching Cheer, what mat have you been living under? Because guys, I'm here to give you some mat talk, all right? Y'all gonna wash your hands. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, this show is contagious. The optimism found with the Navarro Cheer team is just fantastic. I saw episode 1 and I was hooked from that point on. So it's something you can definitely binge in a day if you really had the time, or over the course of a week. But Cheer is definitely one show I recommend, and if you haven't seen it, you really should. And then this next show is not a feel-good show. It's actually 2 seasons so far. They're making a 3rd. It makes you mad, man. It makes you so mad. It's called You, and I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this main character named Joe, played by Penn Bagley, I think his name is. It's awful, but it's so good. Because the thing in the show is there's this guy, he's a stalker, and he's obsessive. He's definitely in love with this one woman in the first season, and I'm not going to spoil too much, but there's a glass cage that's involved. It's kind of crazy. But it's definitely addictive. And it also helps that Penn Bagley is one of the better actors I've seen over the last year or so on TV. He's really, really good. And then here's a show that I'm definitely like throwing it back a few years, or a couple of years actually. Master of None, starring Aziz Ansari. It's 2 seasons long, and trust me when I tell you this, you guys, it's a good mix of funny and emotional. I've had so much fun with this show. I mean, Master of None is one of those series that you get involved in and you actually feel for the character. It's an easy watch, it's a very funny watch, but then there are going to be some episodes that kind of bring you back down to earth, and for some people it might hit a little bit harder than others, but for me, it just felt so real and vulnerable and raw, and I mean, I really can't recommend to you guys Master of None enough. If you haven't watched it, please go and do it. Now, here's a show that I actually haven't started watching yet, and I will this weekend. I've been told and recommended by a friend that if you like trash reality shows, you should watch it. And I love The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. You guys know that. So Love is Blind is a recent Netflix reality show that I am going to start watching. So if you start watching it too, we'll talk about it together. But I hear it's so terrible, but it's so good. It's just 2 people, they're blind dating, they don't see each other, they're just talking, and they have to make a decision whether they want to get engaged or not, and then married, and they've never seen each other, and it's such a crazy concept. But guess what? It makes me so intrigued, and I want to watch it. Don't shame me, okay? We're stuck inside together, so I'm watching Love is Blind. Now, this next show on Netflix is one that I feel definitely is worth a chance if you loved Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad has this slow burn atmosphere to it. It takes a little while sometimes for episodes to get going, and in Better Call Saul, it's the same thing. But for me, I feel some of the moments in here have so much weight to them. I loved a lot of what I saw in seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I'm actually watching 4 now on Netflix, and it's incredible. Incredible stuff. I mean, I can't recommend it enough to you, but Bob Odenkirk is one of the better actors of my life. I mean, this guy is just outstanding. Now, here's a show that is officially done. It had its final season, I believe, last year. Yeah, it was early last year. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And this is one of the best shows I think I've ever seen in my life. Only because it is so funny, genuine, and Titus is, I don't know, Titus Andromedon is one of the best on-screen presence I've ever seen in my entire life. Of course, that's not his actual real name, but Titus Burgess is just fantastic, and I love that it took his career off in a certain way, because he's been in Dolomite Is My Name recently, which I feel like he should have gotten more screen time in. But yeah, Titus Burgess is great. I mean, all the characters are fantastic in this entire series. I think you should definitely give it a shot, and you will be hooked. Like, trust me, it's one of those shows where you just want to keep watching, and luckily now you can watch it all the way through. Now, here's a show that personally I didn't like, and I tried to watch a few episodes of season 1, Altered Carbon. Now, it's a very sci-fi heavy show, and maybe I need to go back and give it another shot. But I love that season 2 is picking up some steam, so while I can't tell you I've seen it, I recommend watching it if you're a big fan of sci-fi. Maybe you go back to season 1 and then watch it all the way through season 2. But I do like that Anthony Mackie is in season 2, and that intrigues me a lot because he's one of my favorite actors, and I think he crushes almost any and every role he takes. Alrighty, y'all. Go ahead and stretch because we're getting right into movies on Netflix that I think you should watch. So the first film at the top of the list, it's not like an order of importance, but it's one I thought of because of recency. Bong Joon-ho directed Parasite, as you know, and I predicted it to win the Oscar for Best Picture, and it did. It won a ton of Oscars. It won 6, and it's a fantastic feat for a foreign language film. Now, if you like Bong Joon-ho, you need to watch his movie Snowpiercer with Chris Evans. If you haven't seen it, it is one of the most gut-wrenching films that I've watched, and it is fantastic work. The filmmaking, the drama, the suspense. It's about a group of people on a train that are trying to live because they're one of the last, remaining humans on Earth. It's insane. It's a really good survival film, but also Chris Evans is just fantastic in the movie, and the direction is A1. That's A1, it's slang for, like, really good, A1 steaks, whatever. Okay, let's move on. Now, here's a movie that I still talk to people about, and they might not have seen it, and it blows my mind because it's one of the best indie films that I've seen, and the fact that it was shot here in Miami is unreal. Moonlight, directed by Barry Jenkins. It won Best Picture at the Oscars in the year that it was released, and it's worth a watch, you guys. It is so good. It's one of the first movies I've seen in an art house cinema, actually. It actually was the first movie I saw here. I believe it was O Cinema, and guys, Moonlight is an outstanding film. The way it was shot, the way it was constructed, all the writing, the acting, it made me cry. I legit cried in my seat in the theater, and I probably sounded like a whimpering baby. We're not gonna talk about that. Now, this film is super popular, guys, but a lot of people still have yet to see it. I have coworkers that have not seen this movie, and I don't know how. But Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse is one of the best Spider-Man movies. I mean, I'm not even saying Spider-Man animated movies because there's not many, of course, but this is definitely top 5 Spider-Man, no, top 3 Spider-Man films, actually. The story is so well written, the humor. I think what it did was it brought a lot of people who won't sit down for an animated film, and it made them love it. So hopefully this is like the gateway for people who don't watch a lot of animation. But yeah, man, Into the Spiderverse is out of this world. And I know I have a second A24 film now on this list, but Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson, was the film that showed me Robert Pattinson can not only act, but that he can act excellently. He is clearly head and shoulders above so many in his field, and I love that this movie proved to me that he's not just a Twilight dude. This guy can act his butt off, and it really was the opening for a lot of different films, not only with A24 but with the Batman. It proved his worth in Hollywood among elites, if that makes sense, in terms of, you know, you have great actors like Willem Dafoe, right, in The Lighthouse, and he was able to keep up with him, and if not, like, move past him. I clearly think Willem Dafoe is better in the movie, but the thing is, there's an argument to be made that Robert Pattinson had the best performance in that film. I don't think he gets that role without Good Time. So the Safdie brothers really just did an incredible job, and of course, Uncut Gems. It's not on streaming yet, but you need to see that film, all right? If you have to rent it and fork out $6, it's gonna be the best $6 you'll spend this weekend. But yeah, I mean, the Safdie brothers and Robert Pattinson, just unreal. Now, this next movie is not really a feel-good film, but it features two of some of the better performances I saw last year. Marriage Story is incredible. Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson bring so much raw emotion that I almost teared up. I was like, boy, I feel so attached to this relationship, and the fact that I'm watching it unravel in the worst way possible breaks my heart. So yeah, Marriage Story is one that you should dive into if you haven't already. Now, okay. This is actually a good film to watch after you watch Marriage Story if you want to laugh and just go on a fun ride. Oh man. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is not only a fun slapstick horror movie, it's funny. It's genuinely a good time, and it's still on Netflix, and I know people that don't know what the heck I'm talking about when I bring this up in conversation, but I've seen this movie years ago, and it still holds up to this day. It also helps that Alan Tudyk is one of my favorite actors, because Firefly is a TV series that I can't recommend to you enough. Hey, you know what? I didn't even add that to my list, but you guys, if Firefly is on Netflix, go watch it. Now, the last two movies here are Always Be My Maybe and Drive. Always Be My Maybe is a good rom-com. It's really fun. And Drive is a wonderful film. It's shot perfectly, I think, and it features Ryan Gosling kicking a ton of butt. Not for the faint of heart, and you don't want to watch it with your little ones, but it's a good film. Whew, all right, we're done with Netflix? We're done with Netflix. Let's go ahead into Amazon Prime Video. This list is a little bit shorter, but for the movie side of things, I really do recommend The Farewell. It's one of A24's best films. It proved to me that Awkwafina is genuinely one of the best actors of my generation. Not only does she have range for comedy, but she has amazing dramatic range. Like, she's really good at being in this role. I think Lulu Wang directs one of the best films of the year. It was robbed at the Academy Awards, but The Farewell, you need to watch it. Another rom-com here, The Big Sick. It's worth it, trust me. Kumail Nanjiani is outstanding. And then you have Warrior, directed by Gavin O'Connor, starring Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy. Of course, Gavin O'Connor directed The Way Back, another film that hopefully when it comes to streaming you can watch, because I can't tell you to go to the theater if you don't want to go to the theater right now, right? But yeah, I mean, Gavin O'Connor is really good at these sports movies that aren't sports movies, but they are, but they're not. It's very interesting. And this last movie recommendation on Amazon Prime Video is one that I will tell you, okay, it's not that I would want to watch it again because once was enough, but Hereditary is so scary. Toni Collette is one of the best actors that I've seen in a horror film ever. This is the scariest movie I've seen. It's the most unsettling film, and if you don't recall my review, you should go check it out. Yeah, I don't play with these demons, bro. So for TV shows here, Amazon Prime's list is a little bit shorter, but seasons 1 and 2 of Boardwalk Empire is something I really recommend. It might have went over your head because I believe it was just on HBO for a very long time, but seasons 1 and 2 are amazing. Now, I tried watching season 3, but there's a very dramatic event that happens at the end of season 2 that made me not want to revisit 3, and when I tried, I kind of fell off the bandwagon there. But seasons 1 and 2 are really good pieces of television, and they're incredibly easy to binge watch because it's so gripping. Now here's my second favorite TV show of all time, The Wire. It's a fantastic crime drama involving cops in Baltimore, and wow, I can't tell you anything more because I don't want to spoil it, but there's this moment with Michael B. Jordan, and we're moving on. And this isn't as much of a positive recommendation here, but I want to tell you guys that Hunters, the TV series produced by Jordan Peele, involving a group of Nazi hunters, starring Al Pacino and Logan Lerman, I believe his name is, from the Percy Jackson films. Listen, you can skip it. It's not very good, man. It's just... We'll hop into that. That's a video for another day, but you can skip it. Okay, so moving on to Hulu. Actually, so blessed to have gotten this subscription to Hulu when I did. It's one of the best gifts I've ever received. Bob's Burgers is definitely a series that I continue to revisit and just come back to, and it's wonderful. It's funny every single time. For me, it's better than Family Guy, American Dad, all of those shows, because I think the humor just appeals to me. It's smarter. Now, this sequel actually I found to be better than the original, but not by much. Creed 2, starring Michael B. Jordan. Listen, Michael B. Jordan is so good in pretty much everything I've ever seen him in. And in Creed 2, dude, I think it's better than the first. It's really, really good. There's a lot of emotion. I feel like the camera work might be a tad bit better. One thing that I can give Creed right now off the top of my head that's better than Creed 2 is that Ryan Coogler just writes better dialogue, I think. I think he writes his characters a little bit better in Creed. So this next one's a classic, Good Will Hunting, starring Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. It's really good, man. I mean, I can't say anything more than that. It's an excellent film. Now that's more of a drama, so if you want to get out of that and get into an action movie, Mission Impossible Fallout is... it is unreal, okay? That movie is... Watch it on the biggest screen in your home. Watch it loud. It's outstanding. I mean, just Tom Cruise continues to bring it, man. Now, this one is going to be a film that I would say might freak you out if you are already anxious about this virus, but 28 Days Later. It is a fantastic and very unique horror movie because when I saw it, it was the first time I had seen so much grain. The effect on the screen is just so different, and I wasn't used to watching a movie this messy, if that makes sense. But it works so well. And its sequel, 28 Weeks Later, is a fantastic film. I don't know, I love it. I think 28 Days Later is great, and if you just want to escape for a little bit without spending money on Contagion, because trust me, people are renting and buying that movie like crazy, go ahead and stream 28 Days Later. Okay, so moving into Disney Plus, you guys, there's a lot on Disney Plus that I haven't watched. Now, there's a lot on Disney Plus that I have watched, but just not on the streaming platform, if that makes sense. So I do recommend the MCU to anyone and everybody, because even though people might not be superhero fans, these films are still so fun, they're action-packed, and I love what Kevin Feige did with the entire arc, getting up to Avengers Endgame. It makes so much sense, and I really do recommend from start to finish. Since Mulan got indefinitely delayed, the live action adaptation that is, I would say go back and revisit the original. I haven't done so yet, but it's, I just remember being so enthralled by the story, and I was so engaged, and the songs are great, and it's one of the most perfect Disney films ever. So yeah, I recommend that too. And some news that actually just dropped today. Frozen 2 is being released on Disney Plus on Sunday. I actually liked it better than the original. I think the songs are better. Olaf is somehow now tolerable. Weird. Yeah, it might be lacking a little bit of appeal for the younger audience like the first one did, but I think that the movie is growing with its audience. So it's a fun time. Okay, listen guys. As for TV shows on Disney Plus, there are a ton. The Proud Family. You have The Mandalorian, which I didn't really hate, but I didn't really love either. But I still think if you're a Star Wars fan, you should watch it. One show that I am actually watching is Star Wars The Clone Wars. That series is fantastic, and I know it's in its final season now, but you should give it a shot. It's really good. And I legit have a note here that says, lots of nostalgic movies and TV shows. Listen, you guys, Disney Plus is never ending. There's so much to dive into, especially in my past and in so many of your guys' past. But just go in and get lost in nostalgia, essentially. But I'm sure everything else I listed with Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime Video will keep you really, really busy. There's so much to watch out there, and until this whole virus blows over and we can feel comfortable going back to the movies, and I can go ahead and start running this channel as I was before, which is dropping you reviews for the latest films and going to press screenings and press events, yeah, we're gonna have to stick to streaming, aren't we? Well, you guys, there you have it, my list of what to watch. There's a ton to pick and choose from. I'll also put the full list in the description below, so you might, of course, get a little tired and not watch this whole video, but luckily you can go into that list and just pick and choose and sit down and enjoy. Again, let me know what you guys think of what you do watch in the comments below. And if you want me to watch anything and review any movie or TV show, go ahead in the comments and let me know as well. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the big red button below and the bell right next to it. Like this video, share with your friends, and also follow Real James on social media because it's gonna be fun just to have conversations with you guys outside of YouTube as well. Now, when I'm not reviewing anything, trust me, I'm planning for the future of this channel as well. One day, you guys, we're gonna have a permanent set and and it's going to be fantastic. But the only way to do that is to prepare for your expectation. So I want to go in and just like take time for myself, an hour a day, and just write down a ton of ideas that I have and find out how we can make it work. Before I sign off, again guys, just wash your hands, stay safe, and to all the real friends out there, I love you guys so much. And I'm gonna start saying that now, real friends, I like that. Alrighty guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.